Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to Seriously Arabic where we learn a bit about the Quran. We are finally discussing the last property of ism, which is type, or you can also call it definitive. Words can be common or indefinite, which is called nakira, or you can also call them proper or definite. I think definite would be the better word, and that is ma'rifa. That is not the ma'rifa of the غير منصرف conditions. Definite here just refers to words that are known, specific, or in a way understood. So that can include proper nouns, but it's not only that. In Arabic, there are 7 ma'rifa words, and everything else is considered nakira. Number 1 is alamun, which means proper name. So, for example, Maryam. Number 2 is alif lam, also known as lam ta'rif, so the lam that makes things ma'rifa. For example, on the word rajulu, I attach the alif lam, it becomes ar-rajulu. Alif lam is the equivalent of the in English, so that would mean the man. Number 3, you have your mudmarat. These are your pronouns. Example, anta, which means you for one male, one masculine thing. Then you have your asma'ul ishara, which are your indicative nouns, or you can say demonstrative nouns, or you can also easily call them pointers if you like. So these are words like hada, which means this. Then you have your ism mawsul, which are your relative pronouns. Pronouns that refer to things. So for example, alladhi, which means the one who, or it can even have other translation like that one which, and the meaning kind of so depends on the sentence in English. Then you have number 6, the munada, which is the vocative noun, which is the person being called. So for example, ya rajulu. Rajulu is the munada, it's the person that is being called. And number 7, you have if the mudaf ilay is ma'rifa, then the mudaf will also be ma'rifa. So some things to highlight about this is that the alif lam, when it comes onto a word, it doesn't like tanween, so the tanween is kicked away. However, if you have a nun i'rabi, that stays where it is. So if you have al-muslimuna, that is there, but you can't say al-muslimun, it will be al-muslimu. But when you have alif lam on a word, remember that the question of light and heavy is irrelevant. Number 3, 4, and 5, these are all mabni words. So we are going to learn the whole list bit by bit, but today we're focusing on ism mawsul only. And when you see an ism mawsul, for every ism, remember, you need to identify the 4 properties. Now this table over here, it will tell you 2 properties of the ism mawsul, and the 3rd property of the ism mawsul is that it is always ma'rifa. Ism mawsul, it is always ma'rifa. Whereas the status of these words, because it is mabni, it depends on the context. So you have the masculine singular, which can be halat al-nasab, rafa, or jar, is alladhi, which means the one who, the one which, or that one which. In English, the translation really varies depending if you're talking about a person or an object. And to make things easy for now, I'm only going to give one translation. Then for dual, the dual of ism mawsul is actually not mabni. This one changes according to the status. So you have alladhani, which means those two. And then alladhaini for nasab and jar, which again means those two. The singular and the plural, however, of ism mawsul are non-flexible. And then you have the plural masculine, which is alladhina, which means those, or you can say the ones which, or the ones who even. Then you have the feminine version, which is allati, which means that one woman, the one who, the same meaning but is for female this time. Then you have allatani, and you have allatain, which means those two women. And in the plural, you have two versions of plural, which can be allati, or you can have allawati. There is no distinction between status for these two. It's just that you can use one or the other, and that means those women. So you need to learn these ism mawsul. They need to be rolling off your tongue exactly like you would learn your gardan. So for example, alladhi, alladhani, alladhaini, alladhina, allati, allatani, allataini, allati, and allawati. And then you have other ism mawsul as well. So you have ma and man. These, they don't change at all for dual and feminine or masculine. They're the same in all cases. And then you have ayyun and ayyatun. So this is for masculine and this is for feminine, and they both mean which. And this is ma'rifa, mu'rab, this is mu'rab, whereas the rest is mabni, and the duals also mu'rab. Man means what, and then man means who. So if I give you, for example, the word alladina, if you see the word alladina somewhere, you need to be able to tell me its properties. So that would be it is plural, it is masculine, it is ma'rifa, because ism mawsul is always ma'rifa, and obviously the status property depends on the context. Okay, now we'll do an exercise, and this is page 16 of the workbook, and we're just gonna see if these words are definite or indefinite, and we have to figure out the reason why that is the case. So I'll do a few as always, and then you can complete the rest. So al-qarnaini, this is proper, and that is because it has alif lam on it. Makithina, that is common, it's indefinite because it doesn't have any reason to be definite. We have nuhan, this is proper because it is alam. Ya waladu, the word waladu here, it's proper because it is the munada, it is the word that is being called. So let's do number 4 on the second column. It's huwa, this is proper because it is a pronoun. Ash-shajara is proper because of the alif lam. Number 7, you have Rasulullahi, the messenger of Allah Azza wa Jal. So the word after of is called mudaf ilayh, and the word before that is mudaf. So Rasul is mudaf, and we have established that the mudaf ilayh, if that is ma'rifa, then the mudaf will also be ma'rifa. Now the word Allah is ma'rifa, therefore the word Rasul is also going to be ma'rifa. That is, the reason is the mudaf ilayh is proper. And before we conclude today, I wanted to show you a map of speech of language. So lafzun is any utterance, whether it is sensical or not. And sensical things can be words, or you can say kalima, or you can also say mufrad. Mufrad is a key term which has three definitions in Arabic, and one meaning of it is that it's wahid, singular. The other meaning is that it means word or kalima, and the other meaning is that any word that is not mudaf. But aside from this, words are three, and they are your ism, your fa'il, and your harf. And we have gone through ism, and now I want to focus a bit more on compounds. The other way of saying it is kalam or murakkab in Arabic. And compounds, you can have full sentences or not full sentences. So full sentences, you call them mufid, which means beneficial, tam, which means complete. So you can even say jumla. And here you find your khabariya sentences and your insha'iyya sentences. This is just a map and an overview. We are obviously going to look into much detail later on. And then we have phrases and fragments, which you call them naqis, which means defected, or ghair mufid, which means non-beneficial. In here, there are a few fragments that we will learn, starting off from the idafa fragment. And we'll have a look at more in the next few sessions. So don't forget to complete your exercises, and I will see you all next time. Assalamu alaikum everyone.